What is his next step in the evolution of his game?
Same thing that Max preaches every day, same thing that AP's preaching. Get 1% each day. That's, if you look too far ahead, I get it. The excitement of training camp, the excitement of the season, you know, it's July 5th and people ask me, sending me text messages about when the season starts. So, can I enjoy my vacation first? And plus there's the internet. But I get why everybody's excited, but if we gotta get better every day, that's where it starts. So whether it's Jack, whether it's Christian, whether it's Max, whether it's me, you know, I made a mistake on the script today. I'm pissed about that right now. If you can tell my tone, so I tell these guys to be on it, and I messed it up. But 1% every day. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do.
Patrick, Christian yesterday grabbed a young defensive lineman and just put his arm around him and coached him a little bit. You knew you were getting a great player in Christian. Did you know you were getting the kind of leader he has displayed?
Last time I was around him at Miami, he had leadership qualities, but he was a rookie. He was a rookie. He's a smart player, and you just assume after 4 years that's what's going to happen. And then Robbie having familiarity with him, Flo coached him for 3 years, I believe that's what it was, and just hearing about him, we did our research, and again, he's a great person, great leader, great football player, and you know, we're just excited to have him.
Coach, you mentioned that the environment that AP has developed here, bringing all the players out here. How important is it, and can you just emphasize a little bit on what happens during these weeks and what your goals?
You get to eat together, you know, when you have your leisure time, you're hanging out with one another, you know, you're not getting pulled by, you know, family, nothing against family, but these 17 days, you know, it's time to focus on football, you know, and I just think it's a good time to create a brotherhood amongst our group. It's a good time to really be able to focus on what the purpose for training camp is, to work the fundamentals. Block out the noise, work on the fundamentals as a group, individually, so you can develop your techniques that you're going to need for the season, especially in the run game, because nobody's played a run block or had to force the run since January. And that's so important, because if we can't stop the run, then you know you guys will have me up here for a different reason.
Patrick, last year, Robert Spillane, even with his first year on the team, became the team captain, really took over the defense. What have you seen from him this offseason, and also going to the training camp where he's evolved and became more of a leader, even moving forward from last year?
Everything he's done since day one I met him, and then day one when I asked about him, because Flo coached him at Pittsburgh. He just comes in every day with great energy. Not like good energy, it's great energy. Willing to learn, he works hard, he's attentive, and then he's selfless. He's selfless. So his leadership, I mean, he doesn't have to say a whole bunch. He just shows it. And then because he has the green dot, because he's in the middle of the defense, he talks, and he's clear, he's decisive when he makes a decision. You know, he knows how to, you know, again, if I make it complicated, he knows how to make it simple to get the wording to those guys. He is an extension of me out there on the field. And that's where that relationship starts. And I can't tell you how exciting it is to have him back for this year. Can't tell you how exciting it is to go in the meeting rooms and be with him. Excited for him to have a good coach like Mike working with him. And, you know, it's just, I really like that guy. You know, he just had a baby and stuff, and he became a father. It's cool, man. It's cool. His job is cool. It's hard. Y'all can say it's hard. It's hard, but it's cool.
Patrick, Isaiah Palomelo seems to be a guy that gives coaches like you a reason to put him on the field and figure out ways to get him on the field. What's the next step for an Isaiah?
Get better every day. See, yeah, you know, I'm trained, man. I'm trained. 1% every day. Get better every day. Be focused when you come out to this field. It's the most important thing we do all day. I get the meetings, I get the recovery and stuff, but what happens on that field, that's how you improve. That's how we improve as coaches. Our ability to adjust out there on the practice field, get better 1% every day, and it starts with being focused and ready to go for practice.
Patrick, no joint practices, Patrick. How do you guys get better 1% every day without that interaction? And I guess you have to utilize the exhibition games even more so.
I mean, we're not the first team to have to go through that. So again, it's training camp with the vision of the head coach and the GM in terms of how we're going to set up practice and the competition. We'll do that. We got preseason games, but we're not the first team to deal with that.
Last season was not close to the jump. Like you said, obviously last year was last year, but especially for a young guy that hadn't had that much success up to that point in terms of in-game action, could that be valuable in terms of just kind of giving them the confidence from coming into this year?
Success builds confidence, and then how you sustain it is through understanding the process in terms of your preparation. I'm very pleased with how he's prepared for this season and the focus that he's had and the fact that the leadership's coming out because of just you can see the confidence. It's just radiating off his body. You can feel it. You can feel it out there, and I'm sure he knows he has to get better every day, and he knows he's going to have to prove it out here on this field. But there's a confidence in him right now. I mean, you have to talk to him about it, but I can feel it. I can see it, and we hope it translates to plays on the field.
Patrick, just thoughts on what level do you think this secondary can play at, in a sense to when, the defensive line is looked at as so talented and has so much depth, and they lose a piece like a Meek in the off season, and just how well do you think they can perform?
Well, you lose good players every year. I mean, that's just the nature of the game, the NFL. But in terms of where the secondary, we'll establish what the secondary is going to be by what we do on that practice field and what we do in the meeting room. So, I mean, for me here to sit here and predict, I mean, the main thing is a defensive back. We got to be able to tackle. We got to defend the deep part of the field. We got to be able to communicate. Those are big things right there. And then when you got a chance to make a play on the ball, make a play on the ball. So I promise you'll see all that stuff worked out there on the field. So if we keep improving 1% every day, after 17 days, we'll see where it's at. And then we go play. And then get ready for September 8th. I don't know where it's going to be, but we know what the goal is. We know what the goal is.
Two more questions.
Patrick,
When you mentioned kind of the excitement and energy coming into training camp from all the guys, how much of that starts at the top with AP? And now you've been worked with several coaches at training camp. What stands out about him, the way he's running things this year?
So how the season is set up, okay? Last time I called the play was in January because I wasn't part of the dance, unfortunately. Dance being the playoffs. So you go all these months without doing that's who we are. I'm a football coach. AP's a football coach. The players are football players. So at the core of who I am, I'm not doing it till I get back to training. That's where the excitement comes from. So, I mean, for the last 24, 25 years, I get excited every time I come out and smell the grass. Obviously, it smells a little different out here on the West Coast than on the East Coast, but it takes me back to the Pop Warner days. It's football season. It's time to get ready for football. So that's where the excitement comes. I'm sure when I'm 75, 80 years old and I'm not coaching anymore, it's going to be the same thing. But naturally, when it starts to get closer to August and September, I'm a football coach. I used to be a football player. I get excited. So, I mean, that's where it comes from.
Last one, guys. Last one.
The pace of practice yesterday was noticeable, guys sprinting. For you, obviously the spirit's always been there. The guys are excited to be here, but how happy were you to see the pace of practice yesterday?
When you're playing fast, everybody thinks when coaches say play fast, we're talking about speed, time speed. This is the NFL, everybody's fast. All right, when you're playing fast, it's because guys know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So, it was day one install. It seemed like guys knew what they were doing, and now it's going to start to compound in terms of day two, because we're going to do day two install, but still have day one and be able to use that. So, the speed of it, guys being able to play with anticipation, good communication, it all stems from us knowing what to do, and I know that's what AP's harping on this training camp. Know what to do so you can play fast, so you can play with anticipation, so we can improve every day.
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.